Breaking news on Fox that Hillary Clinton is under consideration as Biden's UN ambassador, along with ex-Senator Ted Kaufman and Congresswoman Sherry Bustos. Hillary, for someone who dedicated a large portion of his life, not a large portion, but a couple of years, to make sure we could take you out and you would never be president of the United States, that's just, it doesn't work. You as UN ambassador, it's just, even you considering or thinking about this, you're too thirsty. Okay, you're too thirsty. You can't do that. You gotta demand that Biden's not going to take office, but at least in the chatter they're going to have over the weekend and on the Sunday shows, you got to be thinking of something more than a UN secretary.
But Steve, don't you think that is really a slap in the face? This is sort of Biden showing her what she's worth to him now.
Huge.
You know, from Secretary of
not even
State to the
UN. And coming close to the presidency, right? She's too thirsty. Raheem,
it's a fake out. It's a fake out. It's a planted story. It's to warm you up to the fact that Hillary's back, and then they're going to hit you with SecDef.
That's not back. You think SecDef?
SecDef. Remember, it was October 11th I published the article. She did this whole thing, 5,000 words.
Yeah, I remember that.
In Foreign Affairs magazine, making her pitch for SecDef.
She's the neoliberal neocon. This is why we have to close on our victory, folks. Action, action, action. One thing you can be doing is lighting up the phone lines, email for all the, I haven't heard from a lot of members of Congress in the Senate. Got to be stepping up and standing tall. Somebody got Marco Rubio's attention. He's got old-time religion right now. Josh Hawley had it from the beginning, right? He's got it. Let's do a reset before we bring on Darren Beatty.
I was listening to Brian Kennedy in the last hour, and I just want to do a reset. He's so right about all the things he's talking about, but let's just do a reset, especially about the Chinese Communist Party for a second. To let you guys know that the Democrats and the corrupt people are not the only bad guys in this story that's playing out right now. The CCP sent us a virus. They bought up the PPE. They corrupted the World Health Organization. They targeted the whistleblowers. They bought up U.S. politicians. They rigged an election. And they own the path to the future now. Right now, the CCP is on course to owning the future.
Well, one of the reasons is that the Tom Friedmans of the world like their model.
Yeah,
they like their model. The state capitalism merged with their dictatorship, but they want more authoritative government comboed with state capitalism, right? That's my definition of fascism. But hey, that's what they
dictionary definition of fascism.
That's what they want. That's what they want. They admire in this climate change. What they want to do with climate change and all of it is they like the model of the CCP. So that's what they hold as a model for the future. The model we hold out is the Treaty of Westphalia, sovereignty based around the nation state, right? And that's what we're fighting for, sovereignty.
The consent of the governed, right? We are swiftly, very, very rapidly moving to a point in time where we do not have the consent of the governed. That is the most critical part of holding the nation together. Deference.
More importantly, they don't even care about the consent of the government. It's the last thing on their thing on their mind.
The other thing is when you talk about their affinity for the Chinese model, this is just word games. We got to remember the same people who have an affinity for the Chinese model were the same people who had an affinity for the Soviet model.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The same people who had an affinity for the Vietnamese model, the Cuban model, everywhere around the world. Guess what, people? It's the same model. It's socialism, it's communism, it's Marxism, and it leads to the murder of individuals.
And just ask the 30,000 Latinos and Hispanics that were down protesting, self-organizing in a protest before the election that voted overwhelmingly for Donald J. Trump. Okay, I want to bring in now Darren Beatty. Darren,